Hi, this is Little Dwarf, playing games while rambling coherently into a microphone. Why? Just because I can. And they continue with Pathologic Blind. I'm trying to get into the abattoir, but the gate is closed, and the Mother Superior wants me to tell her a story, which is a reasonably childish request for a child to make.
Yes?
Do you know where Clara could be at the moment? She has been hanging around Notkin lately. Had a bite, but went away empty-handed, I think. Oh, and she's showing teeth now. Long, sharp, fine, curved fangs, those are. Oh, and she may be at Murky's. She's been asking Riddle all about her. Thanks. Where does Murky live? Is it at the... Okay, the changeling is at Murky's van. What is she doing there? Probably comforting the orphan girl. You know what? I'll sleep for a bit. Okay, I might have saved in the wrong moment. Because he's almost gearing up to throw. And dodging this at close distance is remarkably shit.
Dankovsky is wrong to think the disease comes from the wells.
Let's talk about the termitary. Do you really want to go that way? What have you been told? I've been told that it's your fault. It's not my place to talk about it. Leave it be. It's a family matter. Those wretched worms you've been starving in the termitary may well soon become my kin. What was that supposed to mean? Are you talking about your priesthood? Your father's legacy, your former ambitions, the revenge of the Buraks? Perhaps. We'll talk about that when that happens. The Olgimskis, whoever of us is eldest and in charge, will report the state of termitary to the kin then. As for now, the topic is closed.
I am crushed by these walls.
Is this what you've been looking for? Is that all you found? I found those bastards too. I barely escaped with a whole skin. I promised to reward the risk you took. I keep my word. Very well. 4,000 bucks. That's pretty swell, actually. Grigory's invitation. Dear Master Burak, I assume you already know of the fatal transformation that happened to the family of Vlad Olgimsky, your father's friend and benefactor. A cunning intrigue has led the Olgimsky family to be judged by a crowd of bloodthirsty butchers. Before long, every one of them will tremble at the sound of the boss Vlad's name. I kindly request that you find a moment to visit the Crucible. I am in possession of some crucially important information that may perhaps save the life of a man whose hospitality you've recently enjoyed. Yeah, I will do that if I get enough time, which to be honest is not guaranteed at this point.
Bachelor has found some strange clay.
I've been told such a scary tale. Who does that? What kind of tale? It's about an orphan and the underground dwellers, about Gekken, the false legs who undermine houses, and about the water from the Suga Kadug. What are Gekken? The false legs. They are those ugly little men like worms. They do not love anyone. The orphan wanted to talk to his parents, and for that, he had to make the false legs love him. They are so horrible, nasty, I hate them. Don't cry, come on. Are you a baby? Or are they really that dangerous? I don't know. You can't tell by a fairy tale because she hasn't finished it. It's gnawing at me. Why? Because she called mommy and daddy, and that's how it was in the tale. What if they come and I miss them? I don't know where they are supposed to arrive to. You only find out about the location in the ending. And don't waste your time.
A weak calf is called midsummer, Mom used to say.
I'm so scared, I can't sleep now. Try to focus on the good things. Okay, that was just a random piece of conversation apparently.
Dankovsky believes the disease came from the wells. He's wrong.
What do you want, Ripper? Okay, I can tell the truth, I can... Which, I'm not sure if she would tell me because she wants to confuse those people. So maybe I'll tell it wrong, and then she'll correct me or something, which is one of the best ways to get answers on the internet. Because, everyone will want to prove you wrong. The souls and a halves have told me a funny story about a crystal flower or something. How do they even know that tale? No idea. The ending is really funny, though. There's nothing funny about it. It's scary, actually. It couldn't have made them laugh. They were totally hysterical, especially when it got to that prince. They couldn't have laughed. What made them laugh? The prince getting desperate and thinking that a flower like this would never grow in his garden again? Or maybe the living flowers dying because the crystal one took everything from them, the water, the air, and even the light. Is it that bit? No, another one. Well, was it the gardener coming with the scissors and the prince making it so that he would cut the living flowers instead of the crystal one? Or the terrible flower throwing out seeds, giving birth to a whole new garden, 100 times more beautiful than the previous one, but having no real flowers? It was something else. That's the end. There couldn't have been anything else. They are lying. Maybe. And you know your tales, huh?
I'm sick. The world is going dark.
I might actually drop by Notkin, because I'm pretty close, and I haven't visited him in quite a while. So, I might try asking how he's doing.
The abattoir is to blame. I've always said that.
You look so fierce. Okay, I don't want your map, to be honest. It's kind of pointless. Not all of us are handsome, apparently. I'll see Bad Griff as well. He's kind of in my way. Can't get away with that, to be honest. Okay.
Changeling has a haughty attitude. She knows something.
Here's how the story of the Icy Prince ends. Oh, do tell. As the time went by, the crystal flower became the greediest in the garden. It drank all the earth's juices, but most importantly, it snatched all the sunlight. The garden became so dark that even the air has turned cold. Oh, and what did the prince do when the time has come to pick the crystal flower? The prince executed a crafty plan. He engineered it so that the gardener would pick a different flower instead of the crystal one. Sounds about right. It's all coming to that. So did the flower end up all alone in an empty garden? Yes. It blossomed, it spread its seeds all over the place, and a new garden grew 100 times more beautiful than the one before. So that's how it is. Sounds about right. What about Prince? Why did they have to kill the simple flowers? Well, I don't care, just let me inside. Come on. Come in. I'm going to fall asleep now. Then I'll go there myself and crack the great pit open. Do you know where that is? Follow the passage between the buildings, and you'll find yourself right by the pit. So, you want me to go through here? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
They never show me anything. They won't let me outside.
I am going to obviously try the door that is closer first. I would feel pretty stupid if I went to the other place and there was nothing there, and then I would have to come back here, which by the way has already happened once. So you know, so that would just feel make me feel doubly stupid. It's okay, that's fine.
They call her Earth.
You come here often, kindred one. Do you seek to be employed by the boss Vlad? The plague is fierce, but we must not abandon work. Perhaps you are an Odonga? Bring us a bull then. Perhaps you are a butcher? Kill one of us, and prepare its meat for transportation. I wanted to ask where the blood you gave me yesterday came from. You will not get the answer. Why should I share this knowledge with you? You cannot take it, and it will rip you apart. I am the son of Isidor Burak. It is not an Oyon's place to talk to me about knowledge. I see before me someone who calls himself a son of Burak, yet you haven't accepted his inheritance and are therefore unworthy of his name. Lie, I have accepted my father's inheritance in full. Have you accepted your father's duty and obligation to save lives that he gave an oath to keep? I have. Have you accepted his knowledge? Have you accepted his lines? Have you learned how to tell the light from the dark, the damp from crumbling, the scorching from the cold, and the dead from the living? I have. Have you accepted his possession, his house, his flesh, his food, and his signs? I have. Then show me the thing that he used to draw the lines on the ground. He used to draw the lines on the ground with, when opening them up for a ritual. Where is his uday, which should be hanging around your neck proudly, so that everyone can see who is in charge of the lines of the Burak's Talgur? I don't know. I will fix that. I will only speak to you once you have your father's uday hanging from your neck. Seems like something has been concealed from you by the one who passed the inheritance to you. I'll be back. This means I did not climb the entirety of my father's inheritance. Symbols everywhere. Everywhere I look there are signs to be deciphered. Did Aspity lie to me? I can't believe it. But then why do they all avert their eyes whenever I mention my inheritance? The problem is I don't quite remember. Oh, Aspity's hospice, okay. So I don't have to really think about it that hard. That's where she is.
Your changeling has a haughty attitude. Seems like she knows something.
I trace your step with my hands, Oinon. Where does the power of the copious tagglers come from? They know the lines. Isn't it clear as day? They know how to open up and turn around the cryptic lines of the body, a word, the sky, the earth, and even water. That's how it used to be anyway. That is not what I'm talking about. How come the power this knowledge grants, its bearer is so great? Why this is a surprise? How can the Foreman rule without troops? Why does the king yield to him? How do the leaders of the ruling families accept it? It is the power of standing. Each party has their own domain. The power of the tagglers arose naturally to fill in the corners of reality that the rulers would never understand. You people only offered the rulers the leftovers of that power. The Olgimskis haven't been holding the kin in their grasp for all that long, you know. The Odongs are stronger. Why this unrest in the termitory then? It's not always smooth. Sometimes the Foreman would get too old. Sometimes the kin would rise in response to Suok's fever. Sometimes they couldn't find a common tongue with the commandments of the termitory. Commandants of the termitory. Sometimes the mistresses would turn their gaze towards the kin, but generally the kin is compliant. So the Burak's standing is still high, isn't it? The power of the copious tagglers is great. Never forget that, Oinon. The ruling families get diplomacy, polyhedrons, politics, and intrigue. We get the earth, the primal power, the cycles, and the bulky movement of life, the eternal battle for the harvest, the annual birth, the heat and the meat. Okay, that was...
We frequently do good to enable us with impunity to do evil.
Oh, not especially apropos, but look me in the eye, Abbatoir. Did you hand over my father's inheritance to me in full? Every bit and every part of it? No, I didn't, I confess. Explain yourself. I've fallen in love with you, Oinon. I care too much. I so desperately want you to live. You were brought up far away from here. You've forgotten our rights and customs. You were in need of a friend here, a mentor. It was easier for me to keep your belongings for a time being, rather than trying to explain why they are dangerous to keep, and even more dangerous to use. Fallen in love, really? We've talked like 3 times. Like a slave falls in love with their master, like a thing falls in love with their owner. It's a dog's affection. I know it's forbidden for an Odong to couple with a woman from the kin. I am simply devoted to you. I see. So what was it that you preferred to postpone sharing with me? It is a bone, Boss Primagenius's horn. Here it confirms that you are the eldest of the Buraks, that you know the right and preserve the art of the copious taglur. Copious taglur. The Buraks are a copious taglur. You know the lines, you know how to cut a body open. The right is your right. There are but a few families of that kind left. I had no right to make that choice for you. Tell me about the other families. Few families hold the right to carry out the rite in this part of the steppe. The Manjizes, the Bashestes, the Burkas, the Oyuns, and the Kriuks. The last of the Magizes died. He was basically killed by Black Nina. The Bashestes used to know the lines almost as well as the Mazingas, but they've been brought to naught by Twirine. Were they the best? Yes. Well, each family had their own line of work, and each was rather brilliant when handling that line. The Buraks, for example, have always been talented healers. The Manjizes were the most ruthless and decisive, and the Bashestes were the greatest in numbers. The Oyuns and the Kriuks have never been taken seriously. They are apprentices, not masters. Give me that bone. It is rightfully yours. Take it and forgive me. I swear that I meant well. Had I not abused the situation, you would have been dead by now. You will now be once again accused of patricide by many. The week-old story will repeat itself. Be prepared. It'll be different now. I'll take care of it all. On my own. Okay, so Bonehor of the boss Primogenes, a beast from legend whose line reflects the intricacies of the laws of the universe.
Like bacteria in a vein.
Okay, so let's get to it. Now, I guess I might utilize the time to talk a little bit about characters. Like, I don't think... I never felt anything for any character in this game. In this declaration of undying devotion from a woman I talked to, a grand 2 times, is a bit ridiculous to me. Like, the characters in this game are more a plot device than they are people. I really don't think this game is good. Like, it's kind of good as a survival game. It definitely does. Getting infected, comparatively, when you look at it now, was, an absolute horror. Like, I didn't save scum it the first time, and managing the resources while infected was actually pretty close to torture. So as a survival game, maybe this works, but that's not what I'm looking for in a game. I'm looking for a good story, for characters that I can connect with, for something that I can ponder, or some, ethical questions to be asked. There were supposed to be moral quandaries in this game, and to be honest, I have found none so far. Like, I'm just killing the people who want to kill me, which isn't that difficult to justify morality-wise. I don't even steal things, unless it's from the dead people. But again, if you steal from the dead to help the living, especially in like a crisis emergency situation, I think that's understandable, and what's the word? Understandable and can be justified. So really, there's nothing like the supposed deepness. Like, okay, I'll grant the story that it's pretty convoluted, and as I said, everyone talks in riddles and metaphors and nonsense. So piecing it all together is probably somewhat of a challenge, but I don't necessarily hold that as a plus.
Mother Bodhole warns her kin.
I have accepted my father's inheritance in full. Speak. A worthy deed. Now I know that you haven't had the bone before due to ignorance, not cowardice. It is henceforth yours. What do you want to know? Speak. Where did the blood that you gave me yesterday come from? It is the blood of the boss Primigenius, an image of boss Turok, who goes by the name of an Aurochs, an ancient steppe bull, whose lines are akin to the lines of the cosmic bull. It was left over from the sacrificial rite. But the rite didn't go the way you wanted it to. You couldn't get the living blood from the beast killed that day before yesterday. That is so, but I can draw it from the earth. It is the blood that feeds Suok's body, the blood that flows through her veins underground, the blood that we have been pouring there since time immemorial, feeding boss Turok's body to be fed by him in return. So we have taken his blood from below the ground. How old is it? Warmed by Suok's body, brought to life by Suok's breath, the currents of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of bulls, cut open, lie underground. Its age should be of no concern to you. It has been the living blood of Suok from the moment it was poured into boss Turok's veins. Where exactly is the entrance point that the blood gets poured into? I will tell that too. Here in the abattoir, at the heart of the house of Suok, lies a well that is connected to the veins feeding the earth. Can the blood be extracted from there? Only by an Odom, the foreman of the abattoir, who belongs to the long taglur and knows the right. The blood rises down from below, heeding its call. But I will not call the blood for you until we are equal. Why not? Because I do not want you to have it. You're unworthy of thinking about it, let alone taking it. It was not you, but Boss Vlad that I gave the blood to before, to help him and on his orders. So how can I get the blood? By making the sacrifice and fulfilling your father's duty, by passing every trial, completing every task, and proving that you are worthy of making such a sacrifice. Not before that. Come tomorrow, we shall talk about it. So, the bowels of the earth are filled with the smallest arteries transporting the sacred blood. The whole place is saturated with it. As far as I know, they could have been pouring the blood into the earth for thousands of years. But why is the blood still hot? What keeps it alive? I should talk to Aglaya about it. Yeah, to be honest, I might die before I get there. Which is, by all accounts, pretty annoying, because it means I will have to get back, sleep for like half an hour, go back here, talk with this guy, and then make it there before midnight? I don't think I will make it to Vlad's house. I'm not sure that's the best chance that I have. Do I want to reload? I think I do, because to be honest, if I get infected, everything gets like 800 times harder.
We weren't given too much time now, were we? The army arrives tomorrow.
I'm happy to see that you're here. Still, it would be best for you not to come here too often. I've been to the abattoir. The things that I have found there are hard to explain to an unprepared person. I am well prepared, though. I know your people's mythology. I know the legends of these lands. Tell me what you have learned there. Tell me where the blood comes from. I will believe the most mind-boggling report, especially if it's consistent with my own data and calculations. There is a whole system of underground tunnels beneath the town. Up to the Gorkon River, sacrificial blood has been poured down there for hundreds of years. No surprise there. I've read about it when I was preparing for the trip. Furthermore, I know for sure that other peoples have similar codes. They all have belonged to different ethnic groups. Some of them are northerners. The blood there is alive. This means the town nourishes it, and it probably nourishes the town. That is inexplicable, but it's a fact. Well, is it consistent with your data and calculations? Well, it is consistent with the calculations. As for the data, well, it also is. This is why digging wells is prohibited around here. This is why the rivers are so shallow and the Gorkon is so clean. I am impressed but not shocked. I was prepared to encounter something unique, even though I expected the mundane. What were you expecting? Something way less exciting. I thought the Foreman was hiding an Auroch somewhere, a wounded one perhaps. They could have drawn some of its blood for you. One of the Aurochs would allow us to produce a few thousand portions at least. Enough for the remaining people. I've heard they are gigantic, almost comparable to Brontosauri. To what? Wait a moment. This may be a rather fascinating natural phenomenon, but you should look at it from a different angle. If there is blood circulating the town, feeding it, then it's alive. This is your sot one. It all clicks, doesn't it? At least the size is fitting. What does the Udurk mean? A body that contains the world. I am simply interpreting Isidor's words. Here I've written it down. He knew that said Udurk was in danger. He knew that only a miracle could save its life. He knew that in order to cure it, one would require rivers of panacea, and so he decided to replace the Foreman and regain legitimate control over the kin to be closer to the Udurk's bowels. I think you're right. I have a very different point of view, but I think I am reconstructing Isidor's thought process more or less correctly. The sign refers to some unnamed entity. It was silly of him to include this super being in his list among ordinary patients. It must have been boggling his mind too. Yeah, that's my father, all right. I'll try to put myself in his shoes and look at all of this through his eyes. That's exactly what must have happened. Okay, is it the end of the quest for today? Because I kind of am out of time. My search has come to an end. The answer is the Udurk, the body that contains the world, a living creature that my father has vowed to protect. The settlement is nurtured by the animal husbandry. One thing seems dubious though. What kind of sacrifice would possibly be proportionate to such a sort one? Okay, I literally had like 3 minutes left. That was
They've
like
grown up and grown tired of me.
it was an absolute clutch.
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theatre.
You should go.
Premonitions rarely
You'll do
fail.
fine without my help. Alright, I'm probably waiting for a letter from someone. I will rest a little. really, they brought cannons to a plague situation. Unless their solution is to just bombard everything to oblivion, I somehow don't think that's going to help them all that great. Oh, the bachelor is not here.
The polyhedron trembled when this monster was dragged here.
I pray that the soldiers don't break into here. Yeah, we'll see about that. But I will visit that guy. What's his name? Grigori. Because that was the last day, and I don't think it's still active, but I'll check. Aglaya Lilich's letter on the beings of higher kind. The Foreman claims that the earth is nourished by blood. Could it be that the same Udurk your father wrote of? There are miraculous creatures all around us, I think. Some of them so great we cannot even feel their presence. How can we possibly recognize them? A man would only accept something that he is prepared to acknowledge as a fact. Nevertheless, the town is alive. It has a head, a heart, and a belly. There are veins running through its massive body. The town has its own memory. It breathes, it thinks, it feels fear. Who knows, perhaps the town can even feel love. A world in which towns have a heartbeat is a world in which I want to live in. I want to feel the earth tossing and turning beneath my feet. To be honest, I do not. Like, it's some kind of eldritch Cthulhu kind of situation. If the earth literally had feelings. Like, if it did, I'm pretty sure it would be angry at us. And I would, we're doing a shit enough job as it is without it actually being angry at us. So, I don't agree. Grigori Kane, Simon's brother. Some badass armor right there. Though it's more of a hazmat suit, but still, looks pretty nice.
Few people know death. We only endure it, usually from determination, and even from stupidity and custom.
Yes, you will definitely don your deceased father's garb soon. I felt that familiar power as soon as you stepped into my home. You have almost come into the possession of the inheritance. Almost? I'm not sure I understand, Judge. My Maria is currently in the same state. A bud that is about to blossom out into a stunning flower, a sun that has already shown an edge of its dazzling corona. We are waiting for the sunrise. You're still missing a little bit. Perhaps it's only a matter of time? Perhaps.
I have a heartache.
Okay, so I can't actually do anything for you. That's a pity. think I'll just rest, because I'm still pretty exhausted. I'll take this and rest a bit. Okay, you know what? This episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!